This podcast is brought to you by Legend Comics and Coffee in Omaha, Nebraska, located in scenic downtown Benson. They got a new location. It's absolutely gorgeous. Check it out. And by listeners like you. Go to Patreon.com/2headed nerd. Become a patron. Support this show.
Once, they were two best friends managing a comic book store. But when an innocent blood oath went wrong, the two found themselves trapped in the same body, imprisoned in a strange pyramid made of long boxes, buried deep below their hometown, where they are doomed to discuss comic books until the end of time. They were once Joe and Matt. Now they are known as the Two-Headed Nerd. And this is their podcast.
Broadcasting from the Ziggurat in Omaha in caverns deep below the metro area, it is our pleasure to welcome you to episode 778 of the Two-Headed Nerd Comic Book Podcast. I am your head number one. My name is Matt Baum, and we're recording on Lady Mechanica creator Joe Benitez's birthday. Joe Patrick, as our resident superfan, I will give you the honors of making a birthday wish worthy of Mr. Lady Mechanica.
I am the internet's Joe Patrick, your head number two. And yes, happy birthday, Joe Benitez. But Matt, you know I'm more of a Weapon Zero guy.
Oh, that's right. Top Cow, Weapon Zero. I totally forgot.
If it's not a Tony Daniel joint with a cute girl and a big monster, I'm not interested.
A monster so big.
Oh, no, that's the 10th.
No.
Damn, I ruined my own joke.
Yeah. But there was a big monster that took up all the backgrounds in Weapon Zero, too.
It's time for another new comic show where we'll review 8 new comics from the last 2 weeks. And after that, we'll set you up with our must-read new comic picks for next week.
It is also Memorial Day weekend, nerds, so we're firing up the grill, and we'll be roasting Dan Slott and Rafael Albuquerque's new Superman Unlimited, and Petunia's favorite Fantastic Four member, The Thing's new series, Kaare Andrews on Spider-Man and Wolverine's latest team-up, Robert Kirkman's return to the Invincible Universe, and more. And it all begins with review time in the Ziggurat!
Before we base these comics in barbecue sauce, let's talk about our rating system, the one we made up while smoking our absolute Crisis on Infinite Earths hardcovers and drinking beer all day.
It's a big beefy boy, so if you want to get smoking there, I mean, we're talking 8 to maybe 15 hours, you know?
Yeah, it's an overnight kind of thing. Each comic we review is rated using our 3-point scale: buy it, skim it, or leave it. Then we pick the best comic we reviewed to enter the THN Permanent Collection. Our Synthezoid assistant Macho posts our written new comics reviews on twoheadednerd.com every week, but we only put on our apron and sear grill marks on them right here on our new comics review show twice a month. Macho! We're gonna need tongs, butter, Montreal seasoning, a case of PBR, and our review comics.
Ah yes, Montreal steak seasoning, a true American Memorial Day classic. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, May 14th.
We begin with Invincible Universe, Battle Beast, number 1, the comic book that sold 1 million copies from Image.
I guess, apparently.
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. Apparently there's like some blind bags thing that people...
There's a blind bag thing, but I mean, even that is like... The stores had to order them. So
somebody freaked out on them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know how that 1 million was measured.
This is from Image Skybound. It's written by Robert Kirkman with art and cover by Ryan Otley, colors by Annalisa Leone, letters by Russ Wooten, 40 pages for $3.99. It's a little bit of your solicit. The best new, not quite a superhero series in the universe. Cursed with an unquenchable thirst for violence, Battle Beast searches the universe for one warrior mightier than him and a glorious death. If I have to tell you why Robert Kirkman and Ryan Otley coming back to the Invincible Universe is a good thing, you have either not been paying attention and should be watching the cartoon on Amazon. And by all means, go read Invincible. This instantly felt like a return to the Invincible Universe. Page 1, panel 1. I just felt good. It was so nice. And we get a loose origin of the Beast where there is just almost like not a softer side to him, but you learn about why this character, who's not a good guy, We learn about why he is who he is and why he's doing what he's doing. And Kirkman, who is very good at this stuff, gives a mission for the Beast, pairs him with a sentient spaceship whose crew, the Beast, of course, murdered. And the spaceship's like, I should warn you, I really like the crew, so I'm going to do my best to kill you. And Battle Beast's like, that's perfect. Let's find somebody to kill me.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
It is great. Otley's working in full gore mode here. There's blood everywhere. There's eyeballs popping out of heads. There's an amazing panel of Battle Beast headbutting an alien's teeth out. And there's so much biting. This is just fun. Wonderful combat scenes. Super freaky, macho, galactic action. And Kirkman has promised that this is going to turn from sci-fi action to sci-fi horror and then to sci-fi fantasy because it is in space. There's a spaceship. Hard to get away from the sci-fi thing. So he's also promising we'll see cameos from old characters, but you don't need to be an Invincible reader to pick this up either. You could just pick this up and very much enjoy this comic book. I'm giving this a gigantic buy it. I mean, look, we were going to love this. It's Invincible. And if you haven't read Invincible, it's easily one of the best superhero comic series ever written.
Oh, boy, that's a hot take, but yeah, it's good.
I don't think.
I'm not denying it. I
don't think it's too hot of a take.
That's a mighty claim. I am in total agreement, though. This is a great first issue. It felt really good to be back in this world. I'm gunning for I'm hoping for an Alan the Alien, cameo. I love that dude.
I'm sure he lives in space.
But he does live in space, right, Matt? Space is infinitely large, though. But
tell that to Star Wars fans, where everyone's related.
Look, they're all in one small space. This is a huge buy it. The art is gorgeous. It is just horrendously gory. It's so, but in a really fun way.
I mean, you're getting into if you know anything about Battle Beast.
Of course,
it's what dude does.
If this were taking place on Earth, it would just be buckets of red. But because it's space, the blood comes in all kinds of different colors.
Multicolored blood. Yes.
Yeah, multicolored. Moving on to the bloodiest comic at the Big Two this week, it's Supergirl #1 from DC, written and drawn by Sophie Campbell, colors by Tamara Bonvillain, letters are by Becca Carey, cover is by Campbell. It's 32 pages for $3.99. Here's a bit of your solicit. Kara Zor-El has been a key member of the super family in Metropolis, but what happens when she strikes out on her own? Follow Kara as she returns to her roots in Midvale.
What?
Home of Supergirl.
Huh?
Yeah. But how could this be? Our hero has not been back in years, and the protector of that town has been saving the day for weeks. Can Supergirl stop the imposter before they steal her fresh start and life? So Sophie Campbell, if that's a name that's familiar to you, it should be. She's fresh off of her critically acclaimed run on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, immediately preceding the Jason Aaron relaunch. It was a lengthy run, very well regarded. This book immediately has a youthful and vibrant feel. So you can tell that Campbell understands the assignment. She's not writing Supergirl like a 30-something-year-old woman.
She's not writing like Tom King. I'll tell you that much.
Right. I mean, not that the Tom King, like everyone loves the Tom King book and I get it, but like this is a different vibe altogether. Right off the bat, I love Princess Shark because if there's a king shark, of course there's a Princess Shark, and she wears a delightful pink octopus dress. It's awesome.
Kind of weird though, because the octopus is alive. It gives me sort of
Kazar
vibes.
Let's not peel that onion.
When Kazar had the living underwear for a little bit.
Yeah, right.
That's gross.
Loincloth, right? Yeah. Supergirl is back in the midriff costume for some reason, but it doesn't feel exploitative, which is what I was kind of worried about. They made great strides in kind of getting her out of that and into her own identity.
Don't forget the knee socks. The knee socks they're not unexploitative knee socks.
Art gets credit for designing this, but it's basically the Michael Turner midriff costume with thigh-high boots and a different colored skirt.
I assume Stanley added the thigh-high socks. Yeah.
Stanley added the thigh. Well, actually, the New 52 Supergirl had thigh-high socks. So
that's right. That's right. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Way to go, Stanley.
Yeah, I hope you cash that check quick, Stan.
Mr. Germ.
Mr. Germ. Campbell embraces a lot of the Silver Age Supergirl concepts, but she makes them feel fresh. Now,
I'm going to stop you right there.
I'm going to say it right now.
And we'll
readers unfamiliar with the Supergirl mythos might be confused.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I understand. Just know that a lot of the stuff they're referencing is old continuity. You don't need to know all of that continuity, but just like recognize the fact that the fact that she has adoptive parents in a town called Midvale and goes by the name Linda Danvers. Yeah, that's all established lore. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The story is also firmly tied to current Superman continuity, and it makes specific references to Mark Waid's Phantom Zone arc in Action Comics. So this book probably could have used some editor's notes.
That would have been nice. Yeah.
We see Kaare using her powers compassionately, not just punching things, which is nice. There are elements of the Supergirl CW show in here, which I thought was interesting and unexpected.
Weird.
Though Matt tells me it may have been a little bit of New 52 stuff, but I don't really know.
That's what the Supergirl super fans on Reddit were saying. Like, there's aspects of the family from the show.
I think that there are probably aspects of lots of different iterations of Supergirl in here. I was thrilled to see thought balloons.
So many thought balloons.
Yeah, but it's nice to actually have that kind of
sure, it makes more sense.
Comic device versus internal monologue boxes.
Right. It makes more sense than Peter Parker walking around talking to himself, I guess. You know?
Yeah. There is a lot of dialogue in this issue, but the story didn't feel bogged down by it, in my opinion. I loved the art. Campbell fills the pages with a diverse array of people and body types. Her style is very cute. It's very cartoony, but it's not so much. It's not so cartoony as to feel out of place in regular continuity. Something I'm just not quite sure about is why everybody has such huge teeth.
Yeah. I noticed that
every
too.
single character in this comic has a mouthful of gigantic teeth.
If they had rabbit ears, I'd go, oh, well, that makes sense. They're all rabbits.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's just a part of her style, and not like a purposeful character choice.
No.
Like, this character has big teeth. No, that's just how Sophie Campbell draws. But I don't get it. I'm giving this a buy it. I really liked it. I wasn't sure what to expect because I'm not super familiar with Campbell's work. I didn't read TMNT. I just know this, though, I thought was excellent.
This is good. This is good. It's not for me, right? I'm probably not going to read a lot more of it. And I will say I had a lot of issues trying to figure out who is this goddamn Supergirl. The second they dropped the name Linda Danvers, I went straight to Peter David's Supergirl, who was an angel, who is not this character.
Sort of. She was sort of an angel.
Whatever.
Yes.
She was not from Krypton. We agree with that. And
that is
I got
technically true.
Really confused, and I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and we really don't have time to get into it here. I would, if you have the balls to do it, I would love to have you explain to me who this Supergirl is in contrast to all the other Supergirls, including Power Girl, who is also a Kaare. Yes.
She's also a Supergirl. So, just not. Yeah. Matt, challenge accepted.
Okay.
This week's extra is, with apologies to Jason Sachs, this week's extra is Who the Hell is Supergirl?
Love it. I love it. So this
starring
comic,
Joe Patrick.
This comic it's good and it's well done and it's well executed. It's for a younger reader. So I found it a little odd. Maybe that they were crushing a bunch of Silver Age stuff in here. Like when she whips out like, oh, I've got the magic comb that changes my hair and like doohickeys and stuff. That's all very Silver Age. And it seemed very sudden to me, but there's nothing wrong with this comic. It's just not for me. And I was confused as to what's going on. I think editor's notes would have helped. I'm going to give it a strong skim it because they do a good job here.
Yeah.
And I do think the art is good and Sophie Campbell is very talented. This is just felt kind of like a sudden change for the Supergirl that I guess I thought I knew.
It's certainly different than the Supergirl readers would have seen the last time she appeared.
Most definitely. And not with a whole lot
in
of
the power jacket with the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
The Superman family leather jacket.
Most definitely. Let's stay on our lighthearted theme with Dark Regards #1 from Oni Press, written by Dave Hill, art and cover by Artyom Topolin, colors by Brittany Peer, letters by Troy Pateri, 40 pages. It is $3.99. And I'm going to have to read you some of this solicit because there's a lot going on here. Just know this is a true story. Dave Hill is a writer, comedian, actor, and musician. He's fantastic. I love him. If you get a chance to go see Dave Hill.
Dave Hill is very funny.
He shows up with his electric guitar and he has a band playing behind him. He's fan-friggin-tastic. He's also a great social media follower. He's riding his dirt bike and flipping people off. He's just great. So 2 decades ago, he created this fake persona for a kid that grew up in Gary, Indiana. And this kid was a metalhead, and he discovered Norwegian black metal, and he fell in love with it. His only problem with Norwegian black metal was it didn't shred hard enough. So he started writing the people that run some of the scariest Norwegian black metal labels there are, saying, hey, I have my own black metal band, and unlike your shitty bands, we rock way harder. To which these Norwegian black metal guys are just like, what are you talking about? This is the hardest metal. And it was. It really was the hardest and most terrifying shit you've ever heard. But what you may not know about black metal is it's also very precious. There is a set of rules. There's makeup. There's clothes you're supposed to wear because you got to be as scary and as evil as possible. So Dave Hill did a series of dialogues that he calls the black metal dialogues. They're wonderful, telling the story of how for 2 years he went back and forth with these people until they started threatening his life, basically. And this is the comic book version. We open with Malcolm Gladwell, real person, excellent journalist and music nerd, interviewing Dave Hill as he's talking in full corpse paint about his life as this lead singer. So this is based on the true story, but it's really looking at the fake story of what would have happened if Dave Hill actually went through this. The art is...
the true story is that Dave Hill created this character.
Yes. This is the true comic book story of the character story. And if you know Dave Hill, you're going to love it. It's written you can hear him reading all the dialogue and saying all these things. The art is fantastic. Toplin also worked on I Hate This Place.
I Hate This Place, yeah.
He's great, and he's perfect for this kind of lighthearted metal story. He also did his research, so like all the metal guys look like real metal guys. This is just a ton of fun, and it's funny, and it's Dave Hill poking fun at a metal subgenre that he truly loves and I truly love. But if you can't poke fun at black metal, then you're taking it way too seriously. I'm giving this the buy it. This was just a riot to read.
So I was all prepared to give this a skim it because I am obviously not a black metal aficionado. But I do like Dave Hill a lot. I think he's a very funny comedian. I didn't know all of this stuff about how much he loves metal music. I didn't know that part of it.
Yeah. And when he plays live, his band is like a metal band.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but I have seen him, appearing here and there in things.
Have you seen him on Instagram when he plays along to John Mayer songs and shreds the entire time?
No,
to show John Mayer that he should be in his band. It's great.
I loved the dialogue in this. I loved the way it's written because, like you said, it is written in his cadence and his style. And so, like, all of the metal nerds in the comic are super pretentious to the nth degree. Like, you probably haven't heard of it. Only I have those demos on cassette tape, but you never ever will.
This was every.
And it's like, I know that there are real music nerds like that, but
it was every edgelord, sort of
and it's just like, it's like Hans. I thought the leader of the black metal group is like, and now we shall ride on the wings of Satan to America. And the other guy goes, Hans, I thought we were taking the plane. It's like it's very like effortlessly funny, and there is like a Dane Cook or Matt Rife looking pretty boy fucker here that I hate.
I think that may supposed to be Dane Cook.
Yeah,
I don't know
wouldn't be
for certain,
surprised.
but the timeline is right. You know?
The time frame, yeah. Exactly. So just like the turn of phrase of the way the characters talk is hilarious. The art is great. Artyom Topolin is a fantastic artist, and so I ended up really liking this, despite not having any real connection to.
You don't need it. That's not the point.
No, you don't.
Even.
Right. I don't really know anything or care about black metal, but I recognize music snobs when I see them. It doesn't matter. He could be talking about indie folk.
Sure.
And the themes are universal.
And the story would probably be the exact same. This indie folk label would end up threatening his life.
Right. Yeah. This is a buy it from me. I really, really enjoyed it. And I honestly was prepared to be very indifferent about it.
It was fun.
But yeah, it's a buy it. He goes to, when he's perfecting his medieval persona, he goes to a store called Medieval Supplies Be Us to get swords and shit.
It's great.
It's so funny. Yeah. Exquisite Corpses sounds like it could be a metal band. Is there a metal band called Exquisite Corpses?
Not that I know of, but it sounds more like a goth electronica thing to me than maybe. I don't know.
Well, Exquisite Corpse is a literary device.
Yeah, it sounds more to me like a goth thing, not so much.
Sure, fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are talking now about Exquisite Corpses #1 from Image Comics. It's written by James Tynion IV, with art by Michael Walsh. Colors are by Jordi Belair. Letters by Becca Carey. Cover is by Walsh and Belair. It's 64 pages. Forget this. $4.99.
It's like these guys aren't even trying to make money. Idiots.
Triple sized first issue for no extra dollars.
That's a $15 book at Marvel, at least. Right?
Yeah, it is. Here is your solicit. Every 5 years on Halloween, the wealthiest families in America play a game. 12 of the deadliest people in the world are dropped into a small town with just one goal. Last killer standing wins. For the citizens of Oak Valley, Maine, this year's unlucky arena, the goal is much simpler. They must survive the night. So the Tiny Onion Empire continues to grow because that guy can't be stopped.
No. He's got to keep up with Cullen Bunn. They're in it like direct.
It's true.
They're jousting weekly now.
I wish Cullen Bunn had this level of success, because James Tynion is like getting a lot of attention for his work.
I feel like Bunn's doing just fine. He's good.
No, I think Bunn is doing fine, but like, yeah, anyway, I don't want to. Let's not compare.
He ain't got no show coming to Netflix. I'll say that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This story, it feels like the bastard child of Battle Royale and The Cabin in the Woods. Not that there are supernatural elements, but it's this whole idea of a shadow government orchestrating a massacre from behind a bank of monitor screens. Yeah. And meanwhile, a group of themed murderers descend on an unwitting group of victims. It's like very familiar to Cabin in the Woods.
Maybe 100 bullets. You know.
So while those elements are familiar, I didn't think that the story felt derivative. It felt fresh. Tynion makes the most out of those extra pages. There are dozens of characters in this book, like dozens with an S, because there's all the killers, there's all the townspeople, there's the people that work for the rich fucks, there's the rich fucks. Like there's probably 36, 40 characters in that
At
book.
least, yeah.
Not that you need to know all of them, but all the key players, they have enough time to establish their own personalities. You get to learn a little bit about their motivations. And I didn't think that the enormous cast made the book feel too crowded. Tynion gives us a few characters to root for. There are plenty of characters to hate. And there's even something of a hero to cheer on, though I don't know how heroic he actually will end up being.
Maybe a de facto hero.
He's the closest thing this book has to a good guy.
Yeah, I guess.
I've been a big fan of Michael Walsh since he worked on Ailish Kott's Secret Avengers a decade ago. Do you remember Ailish Kott?
I do.
Happened to that guy?
I do. He vanished. I don't know. He was great, too.
He did.
He probably got a real
but that
job.
run of Secret Avengers with MODOK and like the bomb that talked to them and shit. Like that book is good.
Yeah.
And Michael Walsh was great on it. His art in this issue is stunning. The characters are very expressive. He has an excellent grasp of shadows and light. The designs for the killers are all incredible. I do kind of call bullshit on one of them being a little kid, but whatever.
I don't. I love it. I love it. It's great.
It really pushes the bounds of plausible.
I don't think so, because he is the psychotic kid that everyone's afraid of, that played too many video games and now life doesn't mean anything to him.
Sure.
It's kind of great.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It is fun. Jordi Belair does an incredible job as well. Each killer is introduced with like this intro card. Bam! Like
they literally all get a ring intro. They're walking down with their graphics and the music.
Yeah.
You know,
it's yes, and so it's they're really vibrant. It's very jarring when that happens because the book is so muted for the most part. But then there are these bright surges of color that pop out, and it's really effective. I thought this was an incredible debut. It does the work of an entire miniseries without feeling like it does too much. Like, seriously, 64 pages. If this were in the hands of lesser creators, or if this were a different time at a different publisher, this would have been a 4 or 5 issue miniseries.
Sure.
Before we actually got to the contest. This is a huge buy it. I thought this was great.
Yeah, this is 64 pages that will breeze by because it's so well paced and well written. And yes, it's formulaic and you can relate it to a lot of other formulas, but that's what horror does best. We're all borrowing stuff. All your favorite rappers are borrowing rhymes from other rappers that did shit. And that's okay if you're doing it this good. The book looks great. The premise is excellent. I want more of this, and it wouldn't surprise me if this is his next Netflix show. This is kick-ass. I'm giving it a buy it.
Yeah, it rules.
I suppose Sir Matt cheering for young serial killers is on brand. Hopefully this week's reviews lighten the tone a bit. Here are your review comics for Thubby week of Wednesday, May 21st.
New week, same subject, murder. We love talking about it. It's Sleep, #1 from Image Comics. This is created by Xander Cannon. He did all of it. 32 pages, $3.99. In the back matter, he says, people are like, hey, Xander, why don't you work with other people and put out other stuff? And he's like, you know what? I'm not good at that because I changed my mind. I change directions. I rip stuff up. I throw stuff away. And coworkers, they don't like that. I don't blame them. So I'm doing it on my own. It's 32 pages for $3.99. Here's your solicit. When Jonathan Reason falls asleep, he becomes something else. Every night, it stalks his quiet town, killing seemingly indiscriminately. When he wakes covered in blood, our story begins. It's a horror mystery. This is from Xander Cannon. I don't know if you know that name, but you should. He worked on Top 10 back in the day. He did an amazing series called Kaiju Max that I did not jump on until way later. The guy is crazy talented. And when he's working on his own, Kaiju Max is really what I'm talking about here, but he develops these huge world building comics that just go further and further and deeper in the world. This is the exact opposite. He challenged himself to pare everything down, including the colors. This is black, white, and red with gray tones. That's it. And the red colors in this book are here to give you clues. This is very much felt sort of like watching Twin Peaks to me, where David Lynch is doing these things in the show that seem really odd, but they are a clue as to what's going on. And some of them are to lead you to something, and sometimes it's to distract you from something. And it's up to you, the reader, to put these puzzle pieces together to figure out what's going on. At first, it seems like it could be a very straightforward kind of Jekyll and Hyde type story, but by the time you get to the last page, there's too much other stuff going on with old friends returning to this small town where the main character lives. As these murders start, the red clues sort of pointing to other things saying, yes, it looks like this is what's going on, but there's something else going on here. And in the meanwhile, the story, half of this book is very slice of life, small town guy that just works in a coffee shop and never got away from his small town, sort of lamenting that fact, but he's a really nice guy and whatever, and life isn't that bad. There just happens to be these weird murders going on and gore everywhere outside of his house. My favorite thing about this was Cannon in the back, in the letters page, he's going to print theories as they come in. And if you read the names of the people that have theories for the first issue, they're obviously creators you will recognize. One of them is a Mark W, and I think it's Mark Waid.
Maybe.
And he said, I'll continue to post your theories as you see the clues, but he promises I am spelling out exactly what is going on in this mystery with all these little tiny details in red that stick out. So pay attention. And it's like you're playing a game and reading a comic. And Xander Cannon is such a great creator. He has a very minimalist art style, very cartoony, but really, really expressive and good. And it works for this because while there's a good story, there's other things you're supposed to be paying attention to. And that is the puzzle pieces he's dropping. So far, this first issue was a lot of fun. I thought it was kind of slow at first until I figured out what he was doing. I'm giving this a huge buy it. I really enjoyed this.
I didn't think it was slow. I thought it was methodical.
It was well.
And so I really enjoyed the
Yeah.
pace at which things unfolded, because by the time you get to the end, you've almost forgotten that the book opens with like the corpse of a cow on the front lawn of a guy's house, because it's not about that. It's all about this guy and his friends and his relationships. And it's just so well told. I almost wish that you didn't read the solicit before we started, because I didn't read the solicit.
I didn't when I read the book. And that's when I was like,
I didn't either.
What are we doing here?
Right. But that's, and so I kind of wish, I'm making this plea to you, Matt, as an editor, to maybe omit the solicit.
I don't think we need to, because the solicit is not spoiling anything. It's not.
The fact that when Jonathan falls asleep, he becomes something else is a spoiler.
No, it isn't. Because that may not be going on. And Cannon's even saying what you see is not necessarily what's happening here.
Fair enough, I guess.
Like,
but by the time the book ended, I was like, oh shit, this guy is a werewolf or something.
That's what it seems like. But also, is he?
Right. Because he wasn't covered in blood.
No.
In either of those.
No. And Cannon said there are things in this book that are true and things in this book that are lies.
And it looked like the carnage was like passing by his house.
Maybe.
Like as the monster went past his front door, it left a trail of gore and scratches and damage, and the front door popped open. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough. But for me, part of the fun was like, by the time the book ended, I was like, oh no, this man's a monster. This is great. I don't want to keep talking about it, because we'll get into like spoilers and theories and we'll be here all night. But this was a fantastic first issue. Xander Cannon is a tremendous talent, a hell of a nice guy as well.
He is.
I've met him on a number of occasions at cons. Support this dude's work. Buy this book. It's awesome. You know how hard it is to draw all in grayscale? It's not black and white. This entire book is in grayscale.
He even said he did it on like an older version of Photoshop, and like it was a huge pain in the ass, but it was the only way he could get the grayscale to look the way he wanted it to.
Right. Because there's, I'd have to look again. So there's probably fields of black, but I didn't notice any. It's just levels of gray and then flashes of red.
Yeah. I mean, the black, I think, is just the outlines, really.
And then like, right. Outlines. And then obviously like the white of eyeballs and teeth and stuff, but yeah, fantastic. Can finally see, and I'm still adjusting.
Now it's time for Joe's obligatory Superman review. We do one every week. Take it away, Joe.
Hey, First of all, you're not wrong. Second of all, I am not ashamed.
I'm going to cut you off pretty soon here. I'm saying, like, Joe, we're giving Superman a break. So
you can't. It's the summer of Superman, baby.
Supergirl as well. This is a lot of super stuff. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think that there was a Superman book next week that I was interested in reviewing for the show. So we're safe for at least another
next
new
week
comic
episode.
show. But Superman Unlimited #1 is the comic book in question. It's the book that so many people we know were very worried about. It's from DC. It's written by Dan Slott, not making his DC debut because people tend to forget that he wrote the excellent Arkham Asylum Living Hell miniseries in the early 2000s. Eric Powell covers. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was Eric Powell. Yes.
He didn't do the interior art. I think it was Ryan Sook did the interior art. But the art here is by Rafael Albuquerque. Colors are by Marcelo Maiolo. Letters are by Dave Sharp. Cover by Albuquerque and Maiolo. Sorry, Marcelo. I'm trying my best. It's 40 pages for $4.99. Here's a bit of your solicit. When an asteroid the size of Metropolis hurtles toward collision with planet Earth, the Justice League dispatches Superman to avert the crisis. But a sinister threat lurks within that will change the world like never before. And this danger glows green. The last son of Krypton must risk everything to save his adopted home, the very home which now tries to kill him from complete destruction. Lots of people were worried about Dan Slott's move to DC after decades at Marvel. I'm not sure what they were expecting. This is peak Dan Slott. The writing style has a slightly cheesy Silver Age tinge to it, but it's fitting for a story about this character. His Spider-Man was exactly the same.
No, it's true.
Stylistically.
It's true. Yeah, like it.
It was.
No,
but
I'm not saying it wasn't.
Descends into full-blown hokiness.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying maybe it shook me a little here just because of like the other Superman stuff that I've been reading.
Fair. Yeah. No, I get that. I totally get that. There is a ton of plot development packed into these 40 pages. The Daily Planet's got a new mission statement to be the beacon of truth of all media, not just newspaper printing. Lois has a new job as well, managing that shit. Clark misses her big announcement, her big day, and the new boss was like, "What's up with your shitty husband?" And Lois was like, "Don't you worry about a thing, boss lady. He's just doing his job." It's awesome. We establish Superman's daily routine, how he makes time to relate to people. He tackles problems of all sizes, like sinking freighters and cats in trees and fetching shitty little brats out of the lion pen at the zoo.
We also establish everything that's ever happened to Superman here.
Yes, that's true.
Literally his entire history.
Well, I'm going to get to that. Then he encounters this asteroid and he struggles to deal with it because obviously it's kryptonite. And during those pages, Slott gives a summary of the Man of Steel that folds familiar elements with updated continuity, and it creates a new history for Superman. And so it's essentially doing the job of John Byrne's Man of Steel or Mark Waid's Superman Birthright or Jeff Johns' Superman Secret Origin in 10 pages instead of 6 or 12 issues.
Wasn't Mark Waid kind of doing this in his World's Finest and stuff as well? Like reestablishing that like Superman did hang out with the Legion.
That going on. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on in multiple places.
Like Lex did go to high school with him again. He did run away with the Legion as a kid.
Right. And so the Lex thing, I don't even know if that's something Waid did. I think an earlier writer brought that concept back. But yeah, his time as Superboy, growing up with Crypto, the Legion of Superheroes, Reign of the Supermen, all of it's here. There's also some new stuff inspired obviously by the original Richard Donner movie. He makes a final push against the asteroid, and Superman delivers an iconic line from Superman the movie while saying goodbye to his son, and I legitimately got choked up. I was like, oh, okay, damn it, Slott. And that's just the start of the story, because then there's an epilogue and there's a weird twist of like, how did you survive? There's a lot going on in this comic. Rafael Albuquerque, he was a divisive choice to tackle the art, and I get it. He's got a very unique style. It's not necessarily a superheroic style. And when Superman doesn't look right, things feel off. But overall, really, I had zero problems with the art in this issue. I understand the weird smirk on the cover and yada, yada.
What about some of the weird poses and some of the weird faces and some of the like...
But that's Albuquerque. But there are also
I disagree.
Plenty of iconic hero moments.
I think Albuquerque is trying to do a superhero thing here. And there is plenty of good looking iconic moments, but there's other stuff that is just plain weird, even for his style. No question.
So, all right, let me, I have thoughts about this. So Albuquerque, like if you look at the pages, you'll notice like all of these straight lines are hand drawn.
I agree.
It doesn't look like he used a ruler. You know, it's all very loose, right? He makes the world of Metropolis his own in a way that reminded me of John Bogdanov from the Death of Superman era. And if you remember us talking about him during those episodes with the Super Squad.
This is not a good example for me, Joe.
But I'm saying...
I don't care for Bogdanov.
You don't care for Bogdanov, and I get that, but John loved him. I love him. And so he is an artist that is capable of delivering these moments that are worthy of artists like Kurt Swan or Wayne Boring and John Byrne. If you don't know those first two names, read some Silver Age or Golden Age reprints. And he still kind of embraces his own style. So yes, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I thought the art was outstanding. I thought this book exceeded my expectations. Even I was a little bit like, I'm not so sure after that Free Comic Book Day or Summer of Superman preview where it's like, you know, Lois, sometimes we're our planet's own worst enemy. You know, all my misgivings are gone about Slott. And I'm excited to see where he takes the DCU from here. Things in this book will have a major impact in probably a lot of different places. I'm giving this a buy it. I thought it was great.
I didn't love the art as much as you did. I think it's good in points and then weird in other points. And decidedly weird in other points. And I don't understand it sometimes. The book itself... it's good. Yeah. I mean, like, this is a good Superman book, and I guess it is fixing some continuity or resetting some continuity, and that's fine. A lot of it felt like, hey, have you not read Superman for a while? You know, there's a movie coming, right? You might want to catch up with Superman.
Well, sure, but that's what this book's job is. It's a new number one.
Here's everything that's ever happened to Superman up till now. And I was kind of like a little more interested in the main push of the story, which I think is good. And I still don't totally understand what happens on this last page, but it's setting up something.
No, it's a cliffhanger.
It's setting up something bigger, and I guess we will see. I'm not so worried about the writing here. Yeah, I think Dan Slott was much better here than he was in that Summer of Superman special thing that was just weird. Maybe I'll get used to the art, but right now it's weird for me. And I'm going to give it a strong skim it because there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It just... maybe there's so much other Superman output that is stylized a certain way that this just stood out strangely to me amongst all like the Joshua Williams and stuff that's going on. It's not bad by any means, but I wanted more of the crux of the story and less of the, well, here's everything I've ever done. You know, it felt like there was a lot of filler to me. It's a strong skim it for me.
I mean, my counterpoint is that it's a first issue of a major new launch aimed at introducing readers to
Superman. Joe, we know who Superman is, okay?
But not everybody knows the history of Superman.
Okay. I'm not sure who's keeping count, but by my count, this is at least the 6th time Spider-Man and Wolverine have had a comic together. Sometimes they're versing each other. Sometimes they're anding with each other. Sometimes they're teaming up, you know? This one, Spider-Man and Wolverine, #1 from Marvel. It's written by Mark Guggenheim, art and cover by Kaare Andrews, colors by Brian Reber, letters by Travis Lanham. It's 32 pages, pardon me. Letters by VC's Travis Lanham.
Thank you. I was going to
32 pages for $4.99. I fucking hate this solicit. Thwicket! Did you hear that? That sound can only mean one thing. Two of your favorite Marvel heroes doing what they do best. With great power, there must... Yeah, I get it. Spider-Man is teaming up with Wolverine.
I mean, it's not Thwicket. It's Thwip.
Whatever.
Like Snicked plus Thwip.
I hate it. It's just, look, Marvel came right out. And they put a microphone in front of Kaare Andrews and they let him go bonkers. And he basically said, hey, I'm a child of the 90s and I am channeling every artist I loved in the 90s for this super 90s style Spider-Man and Wolverine comic that Mark Guggenheim is going to write like it's plucked from the 90s. And in my written review...
Did he say that?
Yeah. He absolutely did. He's like, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, J. Scott Campbell, it's all here. Like, these are the guys. And if you look at the book, it's all here.
Well, no, I mean, I get it.
I mean, without a doubt. There are panels of Spider-Man with the knees up, doing the, the spider fingers and everything.
It's McFarlane on
It
crack
looks
cocaine.
like he could have traced Todd McFarlane. And in my written review, I mentioned... And I am by no means accusing anyone of using AI. But if you asked AI, make a comic book starring two of Marvel's hottest characters of 1995 using the art styles of all their hottest artists, this is exactly what it would fart out. Right? Is there anything wrong with the comic? No. It's a perfectly 90s, super fast paced, quickly thrown together. They're teaming up because they have to go retrieve a dossier. And in this dossier is the secret every secret mission that's ever happened.
It's the docs list. It's the knock list, like from Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah. So, come on, Spider-Man, we got to go do this. And Spider-Man's like, all right, I hope none of our enemies have also teamed up for, reasons.
I will say the enemies teaming up was way more egregious.
What?
Than the
What are we
heroes.
like?
Yeah.
Look, no.
Why is Craven teaming up with Omega Red?
Omega
Other than the fact
Red?
that they're both Russian.
These are two dudes that would never.
Maybe they knew each other from the old homeland.
Get out of here. No, absolutely not. It's just complete ADHD. Nothing holds still for very long at all. Wolverine is being the best he is at what he does. Spider-Man's swinging around, making jokes, and they decide, hey, you fight my bad guy, and I'll fight your bad guy for shits and giggles, And
sure, yeah.
Truly, Andrews is all over the place. There is Joe Maduria's Wolverine. There is Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. There is J. Scott Campbell's super waif model girls here. Like, this is as 90s as it could possibly 90s. It's 90s-ing so hard, Joe.
Is it 90s-ing harder or less hard than Weapon X-Men?
Way harder, because Weapon X-Men is aware of what it's doing and poking fun at it. Weapon X-Men.
I mean, you don't think this book is aware of what it's doing?
I think it is, but I don't think it's going for that same meta-textual I'm having fun.
Well, sure,
doing
because
this.
it's embracing it.
Yes.
It's doing it because
I think
it loves
this is
it.
Mark Guggenheim going, paycheck! Because
well, sure.
He certainly didn't put a whole lot of thought into the plot and story so far. This is just big, dumb action. And if you don't think about it too hard, you might have fun with it. I'm going to give it a skim it because this felt like it took 10 minutes to write and probably a lot longer to draw. And Kaare Andrews, very talented artist, but there are some really weird poses here. Like there's one where Spider-Man looks like every muscle in his body cramped up. And there's a scene where Wolverine is doing the impossible limbo on his toes, just bent all the way backwards. It gets wild. It's a skim it, man. Like, I don't know. This didn't do much for me.
This might shock you to hear, but I thought this was a ton of fun. I was prepared to hate it because I've tried. I'm just not a fan of Kaare Andrews.
It's just Kaare. It's Kaare Andrews. He just spells it weird.
No, it's Kaare. I know this because I knew a guy that worked with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unless you heard him say it differently. It's Kaare.
I just heard somebody on YouTube introduce him as Kaare Andrews, and I was like, oh, okay. Then Kaare
Well,
Andrews,
all right. Well, look, we'll go with Kaare. Maybe my guy was uninformed.
Okay.
Anyway, Kaare Andrews is a singular talent, and by singular, I mean so weird and bizarre and unique. It's definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's certainly not my cup of tea. I'm not a fan of the books that he writes very much either. I don't mean to be slamming him like this. I'm just saying that this, though, the art is super exaggerated to the point of bizarre, but he's doing it on purpose, and I respect that, even if I don't always love it. I thought the story was fine and fun. I think that there's a little bit more depth to it than you might be giving it credit for. And a lot of that is told without words. So like, I know that your written review made a comment about why are Spider-Man and Wolverine teaming up other than because they're both popular and we want to make money. Yes, that's true. But there is a moment where Wolverine is handed the mission by his shadowy government friend, and he looks at the file and you see him like recognizing and realizing things. And that's when he goes to recruit Peter. And so I think there's more to them teaming up other than just let's get that cash money.
Well, then he's an idiot. Without spoiling anything, he maybe should have come right out and told Spider-Man
yes,
why.
But that might be a swerve as well. So
I don't know, man.
Like we will see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I actually thought it was silly fun. I'm gonna give it a strong skim it because it's not gonna change your life, but I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was. So good job, guys. Our final book of this week goes to The Thing, #1 from Marvel. It's written by Tony Fleeks with art by Justin Mason, colors by Alex Sinclair, letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, cover by Nick Bradshaw and Rochelle Rosenberg. A little bit of a swerve there. It's 32 pages for $4.99. Here's your solicit. Ben Grimm may be the strongest member of the Fantastic Four, but once upon a time, he was just a scrawny kid from Yancey Street. When an unexpected visitor from his past sends him on a search for a missing child, the Thing must unravel the mystery, even if that means becoming a wanted man. Get ready to see the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing versus every super-powered criminal and bounty hunter in New York City. I make a note here. The solicit goes on in the way that these things normally do to talk about the creators and how great they are. And they list Leonard Kirk as the artist. Somebody forgot to change the solicit.
Whoops. Before Kirk said, I won't be able to make this one.
Just kidding. It's not him. I honestly had no idea there was another Thing series coming out. But hey, I love the Thing, so why not? This is set in the past, but I don't think it's one of those flashback minis that we tease Marvel about because
it's not.
There's no subtitle for one thing.
Yeah, it's not.
And it doesn't seem tied to any particular storyline like Rogue in the Savage Land and her cutoffs.
No, it's definitely
that's not what they're doing here. So it's just set in the past for some reason. Regardless, Tony Fleeks, he does a great job. He captures Ben's voice really well for the most part. I will say that in the cadence of the writing, his Yancey Street tough guy accent kind of comes and goes. But hey, whatever. The story is simple enough, but it fits well with Ben's just a guy from the neighborhood, personality. It begins with this DJ straight out of the Warriors or Fallout 3, Three Dog from Fallout 3. Announcing a bounty on the Thing's head, and then it flashes back to 4 hours in the past, or further in the past, that is, to show us how we got there. The stakes are serious and personal, missing kid and all that, but the story is like light reading and a lot of fun. Justin Mason comes to us from the doomed Sentinels series that launched with the X-Men's from the Ashes era.
Not your fault, buddy.
It's not his fault. His work here, it's a lot cleaner. it shows a lot of improvement over that series. The action is very kinetic. I loved the way he illustrated movement.
I am shocked to hear you say it was the Sentinels guy because and Justin, no offense here, that book looked like garbage. This book looks very good.
Yeah,
it looks very good.
And I was all set to write in my review. I'm not familiar with Justin Mason, and I stopped myself and I looked it up. I was like, maybe I am familiar. Let me double check. And I was stunned to find out it was the same guy. There are a few problems here and there with proportion and foreshortening, but overall, great job. I thought this book looked really great. I didn't know what to expect from The Thing #1. I ended up really enjoying it. I picked it because I needed 4 books and I liked The Thing. I definitely recommend it if you're at the shop and you've got a few extra bucks to spend this week. It's a buy it from me.
I will say I had less problems with the proportion and foreshortening here than I did with Rafael Albuquerque's work. So this is a good looking book.
Hey, we don't need to praise one guy by tearing down
I'm just saying Rafael is amazing illustrator, genius, So no, this book was fun. The Thing getting a regular series, it's tough because everybody.
It's a 5 issue.
Oh, I thought this was an ongoing. Okay.
Nope.
Well, that's
it's
good.
5 issues.
That makes me feel better because Ben Grimm is everybody's favorite, of course. Do I want to read a solo Thing book for 30 issues? That's going to be tough. But if we got a story to tell, and this one looks like it does, and it looks like they are going to ground the character a little bit, and no spoilers, but he's going to be dealing with a villain he doesn't normally deal with. So he's going to be a little out of his depth going from, and they set that up really well. He opens fighting unnamed cosmic alpha squid or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, he was just on an adventure with the FF.
And now he's dealing with something a lot more street level. And it's kind of fun to see him brought down to sort of almost like a Luke Cage type story. So yeah, I'm on board. I think this is going to be a good time. I really like Fleeks. He's great. His stray dogs
Fleeks too. Yeah.
Pick up his stray dogs. And Farrell for Image. He also co-writes Local Man. He's great. Up and coming talent. Good to see him in Marvel making some money. Giving this a buy it. Welcome to the big leagues, Mr. Tony Fleeks.
Now we want to hear what's on your grill, what you thought about these comics, and our reviews over on our Discord, where we talk about new comics every Wednesday. Before we wash off all this sauce, we need to pick one of these comics to enter the THN Permanent Collection. Matt, as if I didn't already know, which one's it going to be?
I don't think you know. This is really hard because as much as I enjoyed Sleep, Exquisite Corpses blew me away. And
no way, really?
Yeah, I loved it. I fucking loved it. It was the wrestling entrances for all the murderers with the wacky costumes and the themes. It's just I love this. It was so good. And I can't wait to read more. I got to give it to Exquisite Corpses. Tinian, Tiny Onion, man. You're killing it. Killing it, bro.
And I'm actually going to give it to Sleep. I was all set to give it to either Superman Unchained, which I was very pleasantly surprised by.
Unchained? No, dude. It's unlimited. He's not unchangled.
Oh, yes, you're right. Superman Unchained was the new 52 Scott Snyder.
You're thinking of Unchangled. Yeah, that was
Unchangled, yeah.
Yeah.
Superman Unlimited, I was all set to make that my pick. Of course, Exquisite Corpses was amazing, but Sleep blew me away.
Proud of you.
I loved that book.
Not picking a Superman book. I am proud of you. Yeah. Look at you.
Oh, Sleep #1 goes to the Permanent Collection.
I'm not going to say you're a man now or anything, but you're getting there, kid. Who knows?
I didn't ask you to. I didn't need your approval.
It's time to head to the THN Sanctum Sanctorum to make our must-read comic picks for next Wednesday, May 28th. Joe, these nerds are only buying one comic next week. What's it going to be?
My pick for next week is G.I. Joe #7 from Image Comics and Skybound. It's written by Joshua Williamson with art by Tom Riley. Fun fact, Tom Riley was the artist of the Last Thing series.
Oh, yeah,
he
was. He's really good. Tom Riley kicks ass.
Very, very good. It's 32 pages for $3.99. Here's your... I'm going to read the solicit because it's just so stupid. 90% of this solicit is in caps. New story arc, a standalone Night Force covert op. The first appearance of the iconic Beachhead. But is this really his last mission? The new G.I. Joe epic starts here.
Yeah, it sounds like whoever wrote this was having a seizure.
It also doesn't make any sense why it would be the first appearance Oh, the iconic Beachhead. And then why is mission in all caps?
I don't know.
And then why is there lowercase words in that last phrase?
Yeah, they were spazzing out. I don't know, man.
Like G.I. Joe and then lowercase epic? That makes no sense to me.
This sounds like people I know that like smoke meth. This is what they talk like.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So why is this my pick? Because Beachhead is my favorite G.I. Joe character of all time.
Joe Patrick wants his lips to touch Beachhead's mask, doesn't he? Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. He was awesome in the cartoon. His action figure had so many gadgets and weapons molded into the uniform and the accessories.
Beachhead rules. I still don't even know what he does. I just know he rules. Like, what was his specialty?
Beachhead is a ranger, I believe, like Stalker.
Okay.
That shit fueled my imagination for hours on end. I want you to Google the original Beachhead's backpack.
Oh, it's kick-ass.
It's got so much shit on it, like a crossbow and a grappling hook, and it's just like, oh my God. I've been waiting for his introduction to the cast of Skybound's relaunch since it was first announced. I cannot wait to read it. G.I. Joe number 7. I cannot wait.
He's not a ranger. He's their sergeant major. He was infantry. There you go.
Oh, infantry. Well,
yeah. Secondary, small arms.
That's the thing, though, is that like the primary military specialty for most of the G.I. Joes is infantry,
I suppose. My pick for next week, Mr. Terrific, Year 1, number 1 from DC. It's written by Al Letson with art by Valentin Delandro. This is the secret origin of Summer's breakout hero. Why is he Summer's breakout hero? Because we just saw him in the Superman trailer and people are freaking the fuck out. Like old fans of Mr. Terrific, like myself and Joe Patrick, all, had the Leonardo DiCaprio moment and we were pointed and we were like, holy shit. They did. Like, they're not pulling any punches. He's got the jacket, the fair play on the arm, the T on his face.
He's got the terrific balls.
It's Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
This is a character I've loved for a long time, since Jeff Johns' JSA, definitely. I don't think we've ever had a definitive origin of Mr. Terrific.
We have.
Have we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they kind of make it sound like in the solicit, they kind of make it sound like finally we were telling this, like the story of where he came from. So maybe they're just adding.
Well, I mean, fleshing it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but we know his origin. He was like an Olympic level athlete and genius. His wife and son were killed in a car accident.
I mean, we know that part, but I don't think we've ever actually seen the origin and been told the
like,
full story.
How did he turn himself into Mr. Terrific?
Yeah. Like all that stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what we're doing here. And the artist, I don't know much about Al Letson other than he wrote Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which is really the only good thing that has come out of the American King Kong and Godzilla stuff. You can skip everything else.
Oh, he wrote the show.
He wrote the show, which was good. Everything else sucks. Valentin Delandro worked on Bitch Planet. He is fantastic. Great artist. This looks great. I'm excited for Mr. Terrific. The summer of Mr. Terrific. I'm ready. It's hot Mr. Terrific summer.
Superman and also Mr. Terrific.
It's hot Mr. Terrific summer. All right, I'm not going to hear it.
That's right. That's right. I also love Mr. Terrific, and this was going to be my pick until I remembered that you pointed out to me
your boyfriend Beachhead.
You said,
yep.
Joe Patrick, your boy is appearing in G.I. Joe number 7. I was like, that's it. Has to be that.
Excelsior.
That's it for THN 778. If you dig our new comic show, check out our YouTube channel. We on the YouTubes too. And you can subscribe to each of our shows separately. We got a back issue show. We do a gang hang. Listen to them as a podcast. But more importantly, do the thing. Star, subscribe, rate, comment. We need that. It helps push us up. And it helps other people find us. And we need your help because we ain't video creators. And making video takes a long goddamn time, damn it.
We ain't going to become the next Mr. Beast without your help.
No, yeah, I guess not. No.
Is that our thing, Mr. Beast? That he's the guy, right? He's the popular guy?
He is a popular guy, yes.
Okay.
He's awful.
Next week, the back issue show returns for We Swear to God, part 2 of our Cosmic Shortbox discussion of the first Batman Hush storyline.
It's still time.
Will Matt and I remember what we read?
It's still going on. It's still going on. Hush, like part 3 comes out next week.
Hatush is still going.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. I saw Jim Lee on Instagram refer to Hush 1 as Hunch, and I wanted to reach through my phone and strangle him to death.
You know what? No, I will give Lee thank you for being a sport because you knew people were going to make fun of it.
Hunch, H1SH.
Yeah.
That makes even less sense
Of
because
course.
a 1 isn't at least rounded like a 2
He's
or a
making
U.
fun of it. Yeah.
God, I hate it. If you need more THN before then, join us for the THN Gang Hang. It's on Saturdays at 11 o'clock Central Time. For most other weeks, you can check our Discord for details at twoheadednerd.com/Discord.
THN is a listener-supported podcast. It wouldn't be possible without the generosity and donors like our pal and super talented creator, Max Riffner. If you support the show like Max does, and maybe you like the show so much, you're like, you know what? I'm going to build those assholes a website. Max did that too. You can hear this week's extra. This time, we're introducing a new extra called Not So Secret Origins, where Joe is going to give me and you lucky patrons the straight dope on who the hell is this current Supergirl? There's a lot of
Not who the hell. That's trademark.
Yeah. We're letting Jason have that one.
TM,
So we're
Jason.
switching to Not So Secret Origins. It's going to be fun, though. I got a lot of questions about Supergirl, and if you know anything about her, you're going to know why. Be sure to check out Max Riffner's See You in Hell. It is a wonderful comic book that he's currently serializing on Instagram. He's a great follow, and you can sign him to be a patron at patreon.com/2headednerd.
Before we go, our weekly shout out goes to Joe Reynolds, who laid it on us when we asked who the hell is Spin during our free comic book day preview Patreon Extra. It turns out that Spin is Spidey and Gwen's nickname for Miles Morales on the Disney Plus kids show Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
Fart noise.
Now, that show is aimed squarely at toddlers.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
know.
almost certainly a way to keep the characters distinct for them, for budding superhero fans who may not be able to grasp the concept of different characters.
Yeah, but then they're
having
going to
the
grow
same
up
code name.
and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm heavy into Spin. You into Spin? And we're going to be like, what are you fucking
when they
talking
become
about?
when they become teenagers, yeah. But they didn't just leave it there. There is an in-story reason for why Miles is called Spin. The Amazing Friends have a computer system. The computer had trouble keeping the two Spideys apart.
Hell, I have tried trouble.
So they came up with the nickname after seeing Miles show off a cool spin move.
Oh.
Not a bad way to offer a helping hand to impressionable youths. Word to you, Joe. Thank you for laying it on us. I'm sorry that Matt gave you the fart noise.
No. The Spin. I was giving the fart noise, not Joe.
It's for toddlers.
I
Come on.
appreciate Joe. Yeah, whatever. Word to you, buddy. Until next time, true believers, remember to pre-order your comics. Your retailer might just spin your pants all the way around and then pat you on the front side on your way out the door. This is the Two-Headed Nerd.
On your front side?
Signing off. Yeah, because he spun your pants around and give you, like...
Oh, gotcha. Because now your pants are wiggity,
Get the
wiggity,
frigate
wiggity
out of
whack.
here. No, he's
Yeah,
sending
they're
out the
totally
door.
crossed out. Yeah, I
Get
get it.
lost, kid,
Yeah.